what the Democrats have been doing lately is taking the perceived strengths and advantages of John McCain and turning it against him. And I said, hey, look, I love this strategy because that's how you win. That's what they did to John Kerry, and it totally torpedoed his ass, right? So one of the things that was being questioned was actually John McCain's military record. You know, how much experience do you really have sitting in a POW camp? Now, being in a POW camp shows tremendous courage, and, you know, I talked a lot about his experiences within that POW camp, and that, in fact, he was courageous. It wasn't, you know, not like John Kerry, oh, yeah, I don't know if he really earned his Purple Hearts. No, he earned everything, right? And he stuck with his men throughout, never buckled. I mean, he did the confession, but you're supposed to do a confession. That's irrelevant, right? But does that give you the experience to be president? You know, how good was his flying record? Why was he allowed to fly anyway when he was one of the worst students in the Naval Academy? In fact, he was out of 889 students, he was number 884. Those things have been challenged about McCain's record, right? And I think that if you're a Democrat and you see that, I think you should be encouraged that they're taking him on at his strength, right? That's how you win elections. Now, here comes point number two. One of McCain's perceived strengths is, I'm a tough guy on Iran, and I will, you know, I'll get them and I'll show them, and I'm protector of Israel, right? So now there are Jewish Democrats coming out. Frank Lautenberg is one of the leading advocates of this. He's a senator from New Jersey. Woot to the woot, my home state. And they're saying, you know what, not buying it, because you had a chance to vote for Lautenberg's amendment in 2005 that said that American companies cannot use a loophole to do business with Iran. And the loophole is, oh, technically we're not an American company. Technically we opened up a branch in, Dubai, and so now we can do business with Iran and still get all the tax advantages that we get from the United States and still get all the U.S. government contracts that we get. And the company that does this most often, you guessed it, Halliburton. And what did John McCain do with that amendment? Voted against it. He's like, no, don't touch Halliburton. You can't do business with Iran. Iran is evil and terrorist, and they're going to kill us all, and they're anti-Israel. Oh, but Halliburton's doing business with them? Oh, rock and roll. No problem with that. So he voted no on that amendment, and they killed it. They killed the amendment, so now Halliburton can still use that loophole to get all the advantages they get with the United States government, while technically not being a U.S. corporation, so they could do business with Tehran and Iran. In fact, when Dick Cheney was the head of Halliburton, they opened up an office in Tehran, the capital of Iran. Does anybody ever talk about that? God, the media does such a poor job. But so do the Democrats, because they should bring that up every time they talk about Dick Cheney. Now, having said that, in this case, the Democrats are doing a good job. They said, all right, well, John McCain, if you voted against that, you know what that means? You're weak on Iran. And you do want companies to do business with Iran. That enriches Iran. In fact, one of your top campaign managers, Charlie Black, worked for a Chinese oil corporation that also does business with Iran. One of your top surrogates, Carolyn Fiora, I always keep her name a little mixed up. Anyway, the head of Hewlett-Packard, former CEO, also did business with Iran when she was the head of Hewlett-Packard. So, I guess you're really, really soft on Iran, and I guess you want people to do business with Iran so Iran gets rich. That's not really your strength, that's your weakness. Booyah! There you go. Hit him hard. Because you were absolutely right about that. They're having a press conference today with a lot of Democratic legislators who are Jewish and who are going to come out and say John McCain is hurting Israel by encouraging people to do business with Iran. And there's nothing you can do to argue about it because they're exactly right.